want to talk about the head, okay? I don't want to talk about the hair. I don't want to talk about anything, okay? For once in my life, I'm actually not feeling my own head, which is shocking, really, because quite honestly, I enjoy myself. I enjoy myself quite a lot. I am super excited because I'm wearing my Alpha Lover hoodie, bitch. Yes, bitch. Yes, bitch. Yes, bitch. I got the sample. It printed so beautifully. Everything else is on its way, so soon enough, all this will be live. So make sure you save your pennies, bitch. Set a reminder. It's coming. It's coming soon, bitch. So today I wanted to do something super chill, something a little bit different. I'm going to be doing a recommendation video today, but I'm going to be talking about like authors and books that I suggest if you're in a reading slump. I have my little Facebook group, which is Mary Sick Twisted Bitches, where we just chat about what books we're reading and just talk in general and communicate with one another. And a lot of you have been posting on there that you're in a book slump at the moment, and I personally am too. I'm reading, but I'm just very particular with what I am in the mood to read, and I'm not just reading everything and anything. And I wanted to do a video talking about books that have helped me when I've felt like this in the past, and just kind of give you some tips and tricks on how to get out of a reading slump. I'm pretty new to the reading world, and I was using it as an escape from my real life because shit was just fucked, to be honest. And what I noticed during that time, I was reading a book a day. A book a day. Bitch, I was not present in real life. I was not present. I was not coping. I was chewing through romances like it was crack, man. I was addicted. I needed the next hit, man. I treated it like a drug. Now I read, obviously all the time, but I don't chew through romances as fast. I'm a little bit more particular with what I want to read. I'm very much a mood reader, so if someone suggests a book to me and the context may not be what I'm in the mood for, I'm not going to read it. So yeah, I just wanted to recommend some books that helped me when I was in a reading slump. Like, I don't even know what the fuck my hair's doing. We're just going to ignore it. One thing I have taken on and kind of learnt is that I need to give myself breaks. So I'll either watch like YouTube or like movies, and I'll take a break from reading because I end up getting really hard on myself that I can't find a book to read and I'm not reading. And especially because I have this YouTube channel, there is a lot of pressure on me to read a lot of romances and to read a lot. Like, I'll upload a recommendation video and literally I'll get a comment on that video that I've just uploaded saying that someone wants more recommendations. And it's like, I'm only one person, hun. Like, I need to, you know, live my life as well. I can't just lock myself away and read. And it wouldn't be as enjoyable if I did do that. So I give myself some breaks. Like, at the moment, I think this month I've only read like 3 books, which is like crazy to me. Usually I read about 3 a week. But it's been really good because I've been able to focus on like other things. I've been able to focus on myself, focus on the relationships around me. And it's just been, I don't know, it's been nice to just like watch a movie and enjoy the movie and not sit there and be like, I should be reading right now. And when I have read those 3 books this month, I've really, really enjoyed them. Enjoyed them more than what I would usually because I've given myself a break. So if you are in a reading slump, I definitely suggest that you guys take a step back, just live your life, watch some movies, watch a TV show. And even though books are great and it's a really healthy way to escape from real life, you know, instead of turning to drugs or alcohol or, you know, self-sabotaging and self-harming, you know, you can escape your troubles in your life through reading, and that is very special, but you don't want to abuse it either because then the novelty of reading will wear off and it won't be as enjoyable. I like to switch up the genre, like the subgenre, when I am in a reading slump, so I'll usually go for something that's not something that I particularly read. For instance, probably 2 months ago or so, I was really like, oh my god, I can't find anything that I want to read. And then someone had suggested this book to me, which is Heathens by Nicole Fiorina, and I read it, and it was like everything that I wanted at that time. It was something super different. I'd never read anything like this before. I'm not a fantasy reader or like a paranormal reader, so it was something super different for me, and it really did help me get back into the swing of things with reading because it sparked something new in me, you know what I mean? So Heathens is about a girl who was raised by her nanny, and her nanny used to tell her stories about this town called Weeping Hollow. Now, Fallon grew up thinking Weeping Hollow was not real. When she's in her early 20s, she begins to get letters from her grandfather, who indeed lives in Weeping Hollow, and she decides to go on a little bit of a road trip and find this town. But the one thing that she doesn't know is that once you get into the town rarely ever lets you go. This is a witch book, so Weeping Hollow is a town full of covens, and obviously this is a heavy romance as well. So Fallon has a romance to do with one. I'm really sorry, but the sun is literally shining in my eyes. So cool. That's really great, sun. Obviously this is a really heavy romance as well. Fallon meets Julian when she comes to Weeping Hollow. I love the aesthetic as well. It gives me American fall vibes. I live in Australia. Fall's not like that here. We call it autumn, by the way, not fall. And because I am in the southern hemisphere, we have different seasons. Like our seasons are opposite. Like right now I'm in autumn, where you guys are in spring, I think it is. But if you're someone that's into like the leaves changing, pumpkin spice lattes, like that's what I got from this book, and I loved every minute of it. And it just really helped me during that time where I was struggling to read. It just really pulled me out of my slump, and it really inspired me as well. Also, I want to let you guys know that Hollow Heathens is available in this edition as well as a YA edition. So if you're looking for the adult, like new adult version, this is the cover. The other cover is the YA version, which means it won't be as smutty, the sex scenes won't be as descriptive, and it won't be as like sexual, I guess. But yeah, make sure you get this copy. I feel like Nicole is a really good author in general, so if you're looking for a series to binge, something that's super different, something that you've never ever read before, her Stay With Me series is amazing as well. This actually pulled me out of a book slump and then gave me a book hangover. So this series is about a girl who suffers from some mental illness. She's a very destructive person. She self-sabotages. She's not really connected with her emotions. She doesn't really feel anything, and she's constantly getting in trouble. She commits a crime, and instead of going to prison, she goes to a boarding school / kind of prison in the UK, where she meets Ollie. Nicole writes the best aesthetics. Like this gave me like institution, psych ward, Harry Potter vibes. I don't know how to explain it, but it was so good. Carrie Cole's another author that I always turn to when I'm feeling a little off with reading and I don't know what to read, or I'm finding it hard to consume anything. I always read all of her books. I never DNF them. They're very easy to consume. Her writing is very beautiful, really nice to read. She writes really amazing steamy scenes. Her characters are beautiful. Tension, chemistry, angst is all there. This one here is Don't Kiss the Bride, which I actually read when I was in a bit of a slump. And this is an age gap marriage of convenience. That's another thing that I like about Carrie Cole. She writes really beautiful age gaps. They're not tacky, they're not corny, they're not gross, and you can understand why these people fall in love and why these age gap relationships work and how they form, because Carrie writes them so well. As I said, Marriage of Convenience, it's about this 18-year-old girl who lives a really rough life, and she is struggling financially, and her car breaks down one day across the road from a construction site, and this man comes out to help her. They end up forming a friendship, and he kind of like helps her out a little bit and then suggests that they get married so he can help her out financially and also with health care and stuff, because she's actually physically sick. At first, their relationship is nothing but a marriage of convenience and a good friendship, a healthy good friendship, even though there is an age gap. But as they continue to live together after they get married, obviously things between the two of them kindle, and they both have to face the fact that they're falling in love with one another. It was so good. As I said, like really easy to consume. It's quite a big book. It's like nearly 500 pages, but it's so worth it. And as I said, Carrie Cole, just really easy to consume. I also suggest her Ashes and Amber series, because that series is just brilliant. I chewed through them, man. Like I read them so quickly. Every time I feel unsure about what I want to read and nothing on my Kindle is really speaking to me, I just look up Carrie Ann's backlist and it helps me every time. Amo is another author that I always go to when I'm feeling like something dark but just don't know where to go, and I again am just in a bit of a slump and I'm not really intrigued about any books that I'm coming across. Sicko is one that I suggest all the time because it's super dark. It is a standalone as well, so it's not a big series, and if you haven't read Amo before, this will give you a good idea about what her writing is like. It is like a relationship between foster children, so there is a taboo aspect to it. It's very intense, very dark, but I really, really enjoyed it, and I just know so many people have read this when they've been in a slump and have been like, wow, I need to find something else to read. It's just one of those books that like sparks inspiration, that wakes up your reading soul and makes you want to continue on. Also, like her Elite Kings Club series, if you're looking for something that's going to consume you and take over your life, that's brilliant as well. She writes really dominant men, really crazy aggressive sex, just really great dark romances. Anything from Cora Riley will get you out of a slump if you haven't read her already, but warning, after you read Cora Riley, you definitely will, probably, most likely, be in a book hangover. So this here is The Sweet Temptation. Cora Riley is a mafia romance author, so this is an arranged marriage to do with the mafia world. It is also an age gap. It is brilliant. It was my first book that I read from Cora and it made me obsessed with her. So if you haven't read her before, this is where I would go to first. And I also read this when I was in a reading slump. I was reading, what was the stuff that I was reading at the time? I was reading like MC romances, and I was reading all this type of like other fluffy stuff. And then I came across this and read it in one sitting, and I was like, mafia life, bitch. Like, this introduced me to the mafia life and I became obsessed with it. If you're in a reading slump and you don't read mafia, this bitch. This will get you going. This will welcome you to the world. This will open your eyes to a new subgenre, and it is just such a good read. Such a good read. I can't believe some people don't read mafia romances. Please check Cora out if you haven't already, especially if you're in a slump, man, because this shit will consume your life. This author, I literally only read when I'm in a slump, and that is Colleen Hoover. So I haven't read all of Colleen's books. There's a couple in this stack that I haven't read, but I continuously purchase her books because she is where I go to when I'm in a slump. I said this not long ago on Instagram, but again, I'm sorry for the sun. I only literally read Colleen when I'm in a slump. When I'm literally like, ugh, to every book. When I don't know what I want to read. When I'm not in the mood for mafia. When I'm not in the mood for, you know, dark romances. When I'm not in the mood for college romances, I just randomly, spontaneously pick a Colleen book, and it just helps me every fucking time. It helps me every fucking time. So we've got It Ends With Us, which is a really emotional book. It's kind of like a love triangle situation. We've got Maybe Someday, which I haven't read yet. All Your Perfects, which is one of my favorite books of all time. This is about a couple that are married going through infertility. Confess, I haven't read yet. That is on my list for when I'm in a reading slump next. Same with Regretting You, I haven't read this yet. Layla, which I loved. It's actually a paranormal romance, and I read this about 2 months ago when I was really struggling with reading, and man, it snapped me straight out of my slump. It was such a good book. Also, Verity, which I don't know where that is, but I love that book. That's one of my favorite books I've read this year. Favorite book of all time. That really inspired me at the start of the year to get back into reading. Then we've got Ugly Love. Oh, this book is so good. Apparently this was meant to become a movie, but it just never did. And then Heart Bones, which actually is my least favorite book from Colleen, but I did enjoy it. It's about this girl who moves in with her father and his new family after she loses her mother. Her mother overdoses, and she doesn't really have a good relationship with her father, and she meets someone when she moves into this house. But yeah, this is good. It's just not my favorite. But yeah, as I said, Colleen is definitely an author that I go to when I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna read? I don't feel like reading anything. Because this is my thing, right? I have read so many books now at this point that I literally can predict plots. I can predict shit, and I don't like that. I just spat everywhere. I like being on the edge of my seat, not knowing what's going to happen next. I don't want to get to the end of the book and be like, knew that was going to happen. If I can predict a plot and an ending, I'll just DNF the book. Where I never know with Colleen. Colleen never, ever goes the typical route with her writing. She never writes predictable romances. They're always full of plot twists. They're always a little bit edgy with a little bit of darkness, even though I find her writing quite soft compared to like Ammo or something. Yeah, she does have a little bit of darkness to her plots, but yeah, she's someone that I always go to when I'm just not feeling good with reading and I don't know what to read and I'm just like, oh, book slump, bitch. I'm really sorry about the fucking sun. It's shitting me so bad. Oh my god. So they're the books and the authors that I go to when I'm honestly just not knowing, you know, when I'm in a typical reading slump. So if you haven't checked those authors out, all those books, I definitely suggest that you do, especially if you're having trouble reading or focusing on a book right now. But yeah, let yourself have a break. It's so important to have a break from reading and, you know, just be a little bit more present in your life. I know with COVID everywhere, it's really fucking hard right now. So many people are in lockdown still. I'm so blessed, dude. Like in Australia, it's literally normal. Like we don't have COVID here anymore. And we haven't for like 57 days or something. You know, nightclubs are open, restaurants are open, everyone's at school, everyone's at work. There's no masks anymore. You know, everything is pretty much back to normal. So that's another reason why I'm finding it hard to put, you know, time aside to read because I'm living my life. But yeah, if you're in a slump, just give yourself a moment, okay? Watch a movie, watch a TV show, watch YouTube, I don't know, do something, start drawing. Pick up another hobby, give yourself a break, and I promise you when you get back into reading again, it'll be just as good as what it was. Okay, that's it for today's video. I know it was kind of short and sweet. I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't know when my next upload may be because I've got a lot of work going on at the moment. So probably next week, maybe, if you're lucky, but it probably won't be a book video. Check my merch out down below. It helps me out so much if you guys purchase one of these. Obviously, if you can't afford to, don't stress about it. Like, I don't expect you all to buy them, but this helps me so much. Like, I don't have to work so much if I can get income from this shit. So yeah, and if I don't work as much, then I get to read and film more. I hope you guys have a good day wherever you are. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.